You want me to start now, Allison?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep, it seems like everyone is here.
Okay, so Michael Dern, I'm a family practitioner by trade, as Susan Silva could tell you. And I started doing some work with addiction about 12, 15 years ago. Left my primary care practice about 3.5 years ago to start creating a program here for the Signature healthcare system. And we work in conjunction with BMC and have the office-based addiction treatment. So we have the Signature OBOT program here. And I've been very fortunate to have a nurse practitioner working with me now and a great peer recovery coach and Ken Feldstein, who will be speaking shortly. I look forward to this coalition and working with you all. And unfortunately, I will be having to switch over to the phone in a short period of time.
Thank you, Dr. Dern. I appreciate it. Alex Pizzanson, if you want to go next, I know that you, and I've stated to the group that you and Lisa are the two board members the way it stands right now. And I guess the intent behind this meeting is I brought everyone together to really get everyone kind of in the same room. Unfortunately, we're through Zoom because of the spike in cases of COVID, but to really bring people together to reestablish the coalition that Alex and his wife Lisa were able to put together several years ago. You know, unfortunately, with COVID, it's kind of taken a hard hit with people's either involvement or the ability to really get the coalition up and moving. I've asked them, you know, from key players outside of the Abington community just for their input as well, because of the fact that they have great coalitions in their own towns that they've been able to establish, along with some connections within some recovery programs and some outreach programs. So Alex, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself to those that may not know you.
Sure. I'm Alex Pizzanson. I am a selectman in the town of Abington. And when I was on the board, and by the way, my wife should be home any minute, so she'll be joining us. When I was on the board in 2015, it was brought to my attention how serious the opioid situation was. And so Lisa and I decided we wanted to do something. So we held a meeting to gauge the interest, and to our surprise, we had 75 people show up the first night. So, you know, we were new to this. I don't have a son or a daughter that's in addiction or in recovery. You know, my son did lose some of his friends, as you know, Allison, some of them also. But we just wanted to do something, and we really didn't know what we could do. So can you hear me all right? It's saying my internet connection is not too good. But so anyway, long story short is we formed the nonprofit Abington Substance Awareness Coalition. I think in 2016 it was. And our mission was what we thought was maybe early education was the key to eventually stopping it and tipping the scales to the other side. So we focused on educational programs, bringing speakers into the schools. And one of our goals was always maybe bringing a Boys and Girls Club to Abington, thinking that, you know, with the after school programs, give kids something to do. And the Boys and Girls Club actually has a program for substance prevention. So that's what we did. And I was able to get a grant, and we did start this when we got started, and then COVID hit, and that just shut everything down. During that time, a lot of our directors resigned, and as it stands now, it's just Lisa and myself that are the directors, and honestly, we need help in what direction to go and how we can make an impact.
So I think that's why we're all here today, right? To kind of get that direction going and that movement. And I know that I kind of did a brief overview on who's who and what's what. I was able to meet with Melissa and Susan Silva I think it was at this point 2 months ago, and we talked about doing this, you know, after the holidays, once everything kind of settles. And like I said, Susan Silva does a lot of work over in East Bridgewater. She actually founded EB Hope, which is a very successful coalition in East Bridgewater. And Sue, I don't know if you want to take the next go at it, introduce yourself to those who don't know you.
Hi, Susan Silva, resident of East Bridgewater. Started EV Hope, the coalition, in 2013. And much like Alex, we started with an educational focus at the school. We broadened that and we partnered with our Council on Aging, making sure that the 60 plus cohort also knew about the opioid epidemic. Many of our seniors at that time period, and still some today, are overprescribed. And even in East Bridgewater, we've had at least 2 overdose deaths in that age category. So we make sure that we're not only partnering with the school, the police department, but our Council on Aging as well. In 2015, we opened the drop-in center, which helped link people with substance use disorder to local treatment providers. And we also helped link family members to their local resources as well. That ran for nearly 3 years. And in that 3-year period, we saw over 2,000 individuals, and then also opened another drop-in center in Plymouth and helped other communities, not only here in Massachusetts, but across the country, open drop-in centers. This past August, I lost my son, Michael, to an overdose. And, you know, I think I've seen almost every aspect now of this disease. We had guardianship of his son for about 6 months. So there's a lot to this disease, and I think we've covered every nook and cranny of it at this point. And when Alex first launched in Abington, I was honored to be sitting at the table there trying to help them then. And, you know, we're back here with you, Alex, however we can support you and whatever ideas or partnership we can offer you, we're here.
Thank you.
I thank you. Thank you for that. Chief Nuttall, I don't know if you want to go and introduce yourself.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Tough act to follow, Susan. I'm so sorry. Let me get beyond that first. Words can't even begin to explain what you must be going through. I'm sorry. John Nuttall, the Abington Fire Chief. You know, we've had some of these meetings before. As Alex said, we were trying to get this geared up, and then COVID hit, and everything kind of came to an end. And we're still dealing with COVID right now. My department's absolutely maxed out with this right now. We're just trying to fill shifts at the moment, but so far everybody's okay. Whatever we can do to help, certainly. We see this literally on a weekly basis in this town, both between residents and just people coming through. We deal with it either way. So it's definitely here in Abington. There's no question.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Del Papa, if you'd like to introduce yourself as well.
Hello, everybody. Dave Del Papa, new Abington Police Chief. Thank you for inviting me, Allison. Glad to be part of this group. The police department's role, I'm just bringing my experience from my former department, is not so much about enforcement as it is about identification and early intervention with people that get caught up with these substance use disorders. So looking forward to contributing and hopefully making an impact with the community.
Thank you, Chief. Superintendent Schaefer, if you'd like to go next.
I'm school superintendent in Abington, and I've been to enough funerals for my kids in Abington. I don't want to go to any more. And Susan, my heart goes out to you. I'm sorry. The schools stand ready to do whatever it is that we can do. I need to say to people, and I'm not saying this in a pessimistic way or to be a defeatist. We've been telling kids that opioids will kill them for a long time, guys. We need to do more than that. They know, and unfortunately, that hasn't been enough. So we continue to do that. That's we don't know how many lives we may have saved with that, but we certainly haven't saved enough. Until we save all of them. So we stand ready to work with you, something that we've been working at, and we'll only get better together at this. Alex, brought up the boys club, keeping kids busy. Unoccupied time is not good. The boys club that he kicked off is running in Abington this week. COVID or no COVID, it's, we've got kids that are participating in that. So the effort does work. Sometimes you just don't know how much you're helping. So we just need to continue pushing.
Thank you. Melissa, I'm just going along the order of my grid that I have. I don't know if everyone has the same order of the grid. Melissa, if you'd like to go next, introduce yourself.
I am Melissa Cook. I'm an Abington resident, of course. I have 3 children in Abington Public Schools, 5th grade, 4th grade, and 2nd. I'm involved in the schools a lot. I sub and I also chair one of the PTOs. And I lost my sister this past April. She lost her battle with addiction. So I had emailed Allison because I started thinking about getting, some more education into Abington Public Schools. And then I kind of listened to what was going on around me. And I have a friend on Rockland Cares. So I just had reached out to Alex at one point and just wanted to see what we could do in Abington.
Thank you for that. So, thank you. Ken, if you'd like to go next and introduce yourself.
Thanks, Allison. So yeah, Ken Feldstein, I'm a peer recovery coach. I work with Dr. Dern at the OBAT program, office-based addiction treatment. We treat addiction with Suboxone, and my role as a recovery coach, I'm a person in long-term recovery myself, and I try to help connect folks to supports in the community, whatever that may entail. Behavioral health counseling, finding the good meetings in the area. I do outreach with a lot of the agencies in Greater Brockton and Abington, and we try to pool our resources and get to know each other really well so that if we have somebody that's in need, we can create what we call warm handoff referrals and get people to the help that they need beyond just taking the medication. So I'm on a couple of different coalitions in the area, and I can tell you that we went from, in many cases, just like a bunch of faces on a screen, all in our own different silos, to a very cohesive group of interconnected agencies that have developed partnerships, and it's all designed to deliver the best services we can to folks who are in need. So happy to do whatever I can and we can to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Ryan, if you want to go next.
How you doing, guys? My name is Ryan O'Connell. I work for Brook Recovery Center as an outreach coordinator, which is located in Abington. I also own 2 12-step sober homes throughout, Weymouth and Quincy. And I also sit on the board of PCO Hope with Susan. So I have a little bit of, knowledge in a couple of different areas. Allison, had reached out to me kind of as somebody that's immersed in it, 24/7. It's my job, and it's kind of like a boots on the ground type thing for me. I'm dealing with clients, one-on-one, and I do a lot of parent stuff as well. So I told her that that I would gladly, step in and sit in here and hear what some people had to say, and maybe where I could be helpful in certain areas.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Vinny, if you'd like to go next.
Thanks, Allison. I'm Vinny Martirano with the Old Colony Y, and we're located in Brockton, and we have programs and services in many communities here in Plymouth and Bristol County. Unfortunately, some of the I think the messaging and personal experiences that I've heard tonight is something that we've heard in a number of other communities, and we're here to be as supportive as we can and to identify how we can best be of help. We have a couple of staff, Allison, that are also joining with us tonight, and particularly we have a direct working relationship in the town of Easton with Wings of Hope. which was a coalition that we've been in part of for the last 3-4 years. But Lauren Bartel, maybe would you mind sharing a little bit about that effort, and feel free to also introduce Joyce, and I think we have a third person as well.
Sure. I'm Lauren Bartel, and I work at Old Colony Y, and I have my colleague Kelly on the phone, Kelly Reed. She's our new coordinator for Easton Wings of Hope, and then Joyce Dwyer as well. I started working with Easton Wings of Hope back in 2015, and it was started by an Easton resident who had lost a young niece to an overdose. So she came to different community partners for support. So from the Y perspective, we helped to identify and secure funding, and then also really coordinate and facilitate the work and capacity building for the coalition. So back in 2015, we started with a very small local grant, about $5,000. We were then awarded another grant of about $50,000 from that same local organization. And then in 2017, we were awarded a federal drug-free communities grant, which we're still working on today, and we're in year 5. We really focus on youth substance use prevention through positive community norms, leadership development with youth, and then Kristen, who's the founder of the coalition, works really on the other end of it for tertiary prevention, working with families who are experiencing an overdose and trying to connect those individuals to resources for recovery. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Kelly or Joyce, do either one of you want to go next, since Vinny introduced the both of you as well?
Kelly, you can go, and then I'll.
Okay. Thank you, Joyce. And thank you, Lauren and Vinny. Hi, my name is Kelly Reed. I'm the program coordinator for Easton Wings of Hope. And I've been with them for about 6 months, but I really discovered a passion for substance use prevention in the last couple of years, just seeing family members struggle with it myself, and, being mentored by people who have experienced similar things, and showed me the world of prevention. And I'm really honored to be here. And I know on behalf of everyone here from the Y, we're very honored to be here and to help as much as we can. Thank you.
Joyce, feel free to go if you'd like to go next.
So I'm Joyce Dwyer, and my title at Old Colony Y is Executive Vice President of Branch Operations. So I have the pleasure of working with all of our branches in the 7 locations and the number of communities that we serve. And, Lauren, myself, and Kelly and Vinny all work as a team to support our community. So we do it in a variety of ways. I know Suzanne, a long time ago, with Debbie Fringuelli at in EB, we try to support you, and I started personally on working with Oasis, which is in the town of Stoughton, and then we have a substance abuse mental health clinic too that we also have in to support our communities. But we're just here to support you and listen. And if there's figure out a way that we can continue to help you out and continue all the good work that everyone's doing on the call.
Sorry, Dr. Dern's trying to get in on the call. So he just called me trying to get in. So I do apologize. Aaron, if you want to go next, introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Aaron Christian. I'm the chair of the Abington Board of Health. There are a number of different ways that Board of Health are involved in their community, and exactly how this Board of Health is going to be able to support this effort, I couldn't tell you. But our mission is to protect, preserve, and promote the health and well-being of all Abington residents. And however that may come to fruition on our board, that's we're all committed to being a part of this effort. I do want to change hats for 1 second also. As a leader in Troop 41 Abington and our scouts as well, we obviously teach our scouts about substance abuse early on in their scouting careers, and that's something we take a part of our program to teach So if there's anything that we can do from that front as well, we're always happy to support.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Christy, if you'd like to go next.
Hi, my name is Christy Coburn. I am the pastor of the United Church of Christ here in Abington, as well as an Abington resident and a graduate of Abington High School. I'm also the commander for the American Legion here in Abington. As a pastor, I've done more funerals than I care to count for people who have died of drug overdose. As a veteran, I see substance abuse happening in the veteran community all the time. And as a family member, I have a brother who is a recovering heroin addict. And so I understand how difficult that road can be. So for all of those reasons, I'm happy to be here and happy to help in any way possible.
Thank you. Alex Haggerty, if you'd like to go next.
Right. Thank you, Allison. I'm Alex Haggerty. I'm a selectman for the town of Abington. And before serving on the Board of Selectmen, I also served with Aaron on the Abington Board of Health. And one thing that so I appreciate Representative Sullivan and Selectman Alex Pizzanson and everyone here on this call to get involved in helping with, this cause that is hit my family. And hit many families, not just Abington, but all across Massachusetts and all across the world. When I served on the Abington Board of Health, we started having conversations about substance addiction and trying to promote awareness and try to help people in the community. We had meetings and conversations with the Brook Recovery Center, and I see Jeff's on here. And things like that. So I'm proud to continue working towards keeping our community safe and our families safe. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Alex. Adam, if you'd like to go next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Gunn. I'm the Veteran Service Officer of the town of Abington. Substance abuse and awareness is something I hold near and dear to my heart, and I'm happy to support it any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Marty, if you'd like to go next.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Marty Golightly. I'm the Director of Public Health for the town of Abington. I'm also a 20-year vet who has lost way too many of his brothers and sisters to substance abuse and would like that to stop. So happy to help, happy to be here.
Thank you, Marty. Jeff, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jeff Chason. I want to start off by thanking Allison for pulling this together. Both Alex's for being rock stars and doing what you guys do, and everyone else that's joined this meeting tonight. I am a person in long-term recovery. I've experienced, deep crisis in the past. Experienced every level of care, treatment-wise. Couple of times. I lived in and managed a group of sober homes for about 2.5 years, and then had the pleasure of being part of the opening team of Brook Recovery Center and working there for 4 years. I've recently opened a outpatient treatment center in Metro West that will be fully in network by the end of 2022 with state Medicaid options. Excited to be a part of that. I work, like Ryan put it, boots on the ground, working with families and individuals in crisis, day in and day out. I want to be a resource to this group, as I tried to be in the past. I'm available, for any meetings or any groups that take place. And I'm a Rockland resident. Don't hold that against me, but proud to serve the town of Abington. And thank you all.
Thank you. And Curtis, I don't know if you're on or able to speak. I know you are in an appointment. So if you want to introduce yourself.
I am Curtis Boucher. I work for Rep Sullivan. I look forward to working with you all. I know that this is something that we've been kind of going back and forth for a couple of months, and I wish it could have been in person, but I look forward to getting started and seeing what can happen from here.
And then the man behind the hour is Kevin Tachi. He's the one who's put this together with the Zoom meeting. So Kevin, I don't know if you're local or if you're near your computer or not, if you want to say hi. If not, there you go. You're off mute. So I think you're close. There you go.
Hey, everybody.
So just want to thank Kevin. So I think, Alex, if you want to talk about the way the coalition's established right now, as you've all have heard, and from everyone else introducing themselves, everyone brings a wealth of knowledge, and that's why I thought it was important to bring all of you to this table, because of all your knowledge around different things and different perspectives, trying to put this coalition back together, and really have it be a coalition that is impactful here in the town of Abington, but not just for Abington residents, but across, this Plymouth County area, because there's no borders when it comes to substance use disorders. Like many of you have said, either it's touched you yourselves personally, or somebody you love, somebody you know, somebody you care about. And I think that's never going to change. And we're always going to know somebody that struggles. So Melissa's definitely the one I have to give a huge amount of credit to. She was that squeaky wheel that really kept pushing and kept pushing. And it's not a bad squeaky wheel at all. It's just somebody that I think lit the fire and really made it a point to bring us all together. So thank you, Melissa, for that. But Alex, if you want to go and kind of discuss the way the coalition's set up right now, how many board members it would need to be reestablished, how many board members are in the bylaws, if you have bylaws, what those bylaws look like. And then we can discuss out of these group of people who might want to be part of the board itself, maybe in the initial period of it going forward, or what role you might want to play going forward in this coalition. Alex, you're on mute. Let me see if I can unmute you from my side.
Here we go.
Here we go.
We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and taxes and all the paperwork is up to date with both the state and the federal government. We have about just over $5,000 in the bank, and that was through donations and part of the grant that I got several years ago. We did make a couple of substantial donations to the Boys and Girls Club, and we're through with that. That was part of our mission. So the 5,000 we have is for whatever, the new board decides and how they want to go forward with fundraising and grants. And so my wife Lisa and I are at the point where we want people that know what they're doing, basically, to get on board. We had a lot of volunteers when we started this, and I think and nothing against anyone that was on the board, they all wanted to help, but they didn't have the experience that I think we need to get this up and running, like EB Hope and Rockland Cares and some of these other groups. And we're not opposed to possibly merging with somebody, and we had explored that pre-COVID. So what I would like to see out of this, I would like to see 4 or 5 other people that would like to be on the board of directors, and then we could meet and kind of decide what direction we want to go in and what we want for a mission, and where we go from there.
So I guess that leaves the discussion open. I know everyone's kind of gone through it, and looks like we have someone new, Helen. Helen, sorry for joining late. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself. Yeah, you're on mute. Let me see if I can get you out of mute.
When Rockland Cares first came to be, I was one of the
members. I was part of Rockland Cares for, I can't even remember how long, 4 or 5 years. So so Jeff, I don't know if Jeff's there. I actually went to the town offices, which is why I'm late joining. I didn't realize it was a Zoom meeting. So Jeff just sent me the link. I just got home. But he asked myself and my husband, who has to be working, if we could offer any input into, I guess, just trying to get Abington Cares. Is it Abington Cares, your coalition?
Well, the actual name of the group is Abington Substance Awareness Coalition.
Okay. So he asked us, if we wanted to participate and give you any insights that we have from when we were part of Rockland Cares. So if you have any questions, I'm here to help.
Sure. So what did you actually do with Rockland Cares, and what did they do as a group to for the community?
Well, some of the things that we did were part of it was educating the students on drug use, which is part of the name of Rockland Cares: education, resources, support, and awareness. One of the things that we got we work closely with the Brockton Area Collaborative. One of the things that we used was a mock setup of a teenager's bedroom. And we would set that. I don't know if you're aware of that.
We have set up ourselves. We've used that a few times.
Yeah, that we found was very helpful. One of the main things that we did, not at the very beginning, but after I think a year or two, was we made Rockland Cares a nonprofit organization, which was very important in order to get donations.
Yes, and we are a nonprofit now.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. Yeah. I don't know, Stacy Gardner was supposed to attend, but I just talked to her and she's at work. But I did talk to Tricia Fallon, who is one of the founding members of Rockland Cares. What they do, she said she's having a hard time even giving their money away right now. I don't know if it's because of COVID or what, but they have given scholarships to students. They've given 4 adult scholarships to recovery houses. During Christmas, they gave gift cards to families that were affected by substance use disorders. They also did that before the back to school family, for the same families. But she said they're having a really hard time. She said they have a lot of money and they just having a hard time giving it away right now. So I don't know how to solve that problem. They also we worked with a program called Hand Delivered Hope, which I don't think is active right now, where they put together bags for the homeless, which are mostly people with substance use disorders and mental health issues in Boston. Linnell Cox, I don't know if you're aware of her, but she ran that program for quite a few years. So that's some of the stuff that they're doing right now. I don't know where you are right now with your program.
Well, that's what we're holding this meeting for. Our program is pretty much at a standstill right now, and we want to get it reactivated or activated, actually, and see how we can make a difference in it.
I think you need to get the students in the schools involved. I think that's a major thing. Do you guys have a logo?
Yes, and we have done things with the school in the past pre-COVID. We brought several speakers in. We did some of the movies and programs that they did. We had Wahlberg, and we did his movie. So we were fairly active prior to COVID, and it sounds like we were doing things that you were doing. We have our own, what's it called? That room you were talking, I can't, hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the name of it either.
Yeah, we have our own setup for that. So we've done that a few times. But what we need is, we need some people on our board of directors to help us continue and come up with some new ideas and possibly grants and other things that can help us along with this.
I know Tricia Fallon was telling me that they got a huge grant from the cannabis place that opened in Rockland. I don't know if there's any place like that in Abington.
There is one that will be opening March 1st, and he has, I've already sent him a letter, and he will be making his annual donations to the Abington Substance Awareness Coalition.
Oh, that's excellent.
Susan, I don't know if you want to, where you kind of helped establish EB Hope as well, if you want to touch base on your board members and what your board looks like and how it was established.
Well, right now I'm not part of Rockland Cares. I resigned a couple of years ago. I'd be willing to help you guys. I have grandchildren in the Abington school system. Right now I live in Whitman. I lived in Rockland for 35 years. My 3 kids went through the Rockland school system. And I am the mother of a recovering addict. He's almost 34 right now, and he is in recovery, which is how I got involved with Rockland Cares at the beginning. And like I said, I resigned, probably 3 or 4 years ago. My mother was living with us, and it was a little too much, but I'm not in that situation right now. And I would be willing to help with Abington if you need the help. The board of directors, when I talked to Tricia Fallon, who is on the board of directors at Rockland. She said right now they have her, Stacey Gardner, Brian McDonald, who's a Rockland police officer, and Lindsay Woods, who grew up in Rockland. The 4 of them are the core of Rockland Cares. And she said they're hurting for volunteers right now. And I think that a lot of that has to do with COVID. So you guys are probably in the same type of situation. So, but if you need volunteers or help, I would be willing to help.
Great, thank you.
So do you have a board of directors right now?
Right now, there are only 2 of us on the board of directors, and we're hoping we get a few volunteers from this meeting that we would meet hopefully within the next month, the board of directors, and with Allison and maybe Curtis, and get going from there, and then what we can do.
So I'm sorry, I don't know what your name is. I didn't catch it.
Alex.
What is it?
Pizzanson.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Alex, I'd like to formally throw my hat in the ring and volunteer to be on the board and help in any capacity I can. Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Is that you, Jeff?
I just made a list of some people that I would hope would be volunteering, and you were right on that list. I would also like Melissa Cook, if she wanted to get involved. Alex Haggerty, I would like him involved. I'd like everyone involved, but if some of these people would like to be directors, it would be great. And I'm wondering what Christy Coburn would think about getting a more formal role in this also. And anyone else out there that wants to volunteer. At one point, we had 11 directors.
Well, so what happened? It just kind of.
There were a lot of things that happened. People lost interest. And like I said earlier, before you got on, we had a lot of great volunteers, but they wanted to do something, but they didn't know what we could do. And so they kind of lost interest, fell apart. And then COVID hit and it got worse. I was even doing a TV show and a radio show with Kevin Stevens, former NHL player who is in recovery. And we did that show on Abington Cable, and it was actually shown in Pittsburgh, and then we did WATD on Monday nights also. And then that was right before COVID, that stopped. But Kevin's program, Power Forward, is still around, and we could still work with them. And they do give some scholarships for recovery and things like that. So, we had a pretty good thing going at one time with all the different things that we were doing. And Kevin Totchke and I have spoken several times recently about maybe doing another weekly or bi-weekly program through Abington Cable to bring more awareness to it. And we will probably be discussing that more tomorrow.
Alex, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm hoping Susan will be able to share her perspective from EB Hope, the board member, what her board might look like, her board of directors, what her board's made up of, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So EB Hope is a little unique where we have our coalition and then we have our nonprofit. PCO Hope became the nonprofit, which basically is the fiscal agent for the coalition. So we have our coalition meetings where we try to have at least, a number of our 12 sectors from the community present who want to participate. And then our board is made up of people throughout all of Plymouth County, because we're Plymouth County, we're PCO Hope now. So we cover all of Plymouth County, and that covers our drop-in centers. We do pizza and prevention with all the different sober houses here in Plymouth County, where we go into the sober houses and do overdose prevention training with the people that live there. So our board, right now we have 10 people that sit on our board from all over Plymouth County. We have members from hospitals and in the recovery community, Board of Selectmen members, people in recovery. And throughout COVID, even though our location for the drop-in center had to close down, we ended up going mobile. We started taking it to the hotspot areas throughout Plymouth County. We've continued to hold meetings via Zoom, both for the coalition and for the nonprofit. I kind of marveled at hearing, I think it was Helen, say that they can't give money away. We gave out 85 scholarships this past year to people that are looking for entry into sober living. And so we've been able to give a lot of money away, and we're kind of grateful for that because we had a lot of money that we had to give away. But our board is pretty diverse. And because of that diversity, almost everyone that's on the board either works in mental health or the substance use arena somewhere along the way. So that really keeps us motivated and keeps us moving forward. Our coalition, though, itself is more local, and more of that local feel, as I know, Alex, you're saying it, people start to lose interest. So keeping that interest as the leader is kind of the job. That's like my job, is always being the champion for the coalition. And I'm sure the girls at Easton Wings of Hope and Rockland Cares, and they'll tell you that, you know, you have to be the biggest cheerleader to keep everybody on board and moving forward and looking for new ideas and keeping your focus. You know, whatever you decide Abington wants to be and what its focus is planning everything around that focus. I know lots of the coalitions, they primarily focus on the schools. And I'm so glad for the Brockton Collaborative, who they're in our schools. I'm not a prevention specialist, but they are, and they're in our schools, and they're doing all that prevention work for us so that we're able to kind of focus on all the other areas in our community. And as I stated, I really felt like the Council on Aging was a lost resource. Like they have so much impact from the opioid epidemic. They're raising their grandchildren because they've lost their kids to this epidemic. Matter of fact, we're planning a grandparents raising grandparents thing coming out in April. They're overprescribed medication, and they're embarrassed to tell anybody that they're overprescribed and that they're having that effect. So we make sure that we stay connected to them. We stay connected to the police department and the fire department. We've made great connections within the business community. We have Nalox boxes out in the community here in East Bridgewater. Go ahead, Alex. I think he's losing us.
That's the good part about having it recorded, right? So that if Alex did lose internet connection, he can follow up with the recording. So if you want to continue about the business.
He's back.
So I was saying, Alex, one of the things that we were partnering with the business community, we put naloxone boxes in different businesses and in our town buildings, which is a box like you have for the heart monitor thing where I forget what they're called. But it has Narcan and a full setup if somebody were to overdose, that you just open the box and you're able to attend to the person who's having an overdose. So there's lots of different things that you can do to spark interest within your community, not just the prevention piece at the school. That's a piece of the work, but there's so many other great things that can keep you motivated. And we just finished building a trailer for our Hidden in Plain Sight. We're just waiting for the graphics to be done on the outside. We just launched it at our Christmas on the Common event. It came out amazing. And we utilized the students at the school and the carpentry teacher at the school to do all the retrofit. Great work to be able to use that all around our community and share it out if we're willing to share it with any of our Plymouth County communities.
Okay. Yeah, so they're all great ideas, and you know, I'm excited to get this going again, and I was very happy when Allison called me and you, Susan, to find out if we could reactivate this. So I think, like Allison said, the first step is getting a board of directors together and getting organized that way. And then, you know, coming up with ideas and stealing a lot of your ideas and moving forward. Are we still there?
Yes, we are. You're a little spotty, but I think everyone got the gist of what you were saying.
Did you lose me again?
Yeah, we lost your picture, but up there you are. Melissa, I think you might have
no, that's not
Yeah. So I've had a couple of meetings with ladies from the Brockton Area Prevention Collaborative, and they've been very helpful. I think, they work with Bridgewater, Brockton, EB Hope, obviously, Hanson, Rockland, and Whitman as a regional approach that educates young people. So I think the next meeting, if we could have somebody from there in the next meeting, because I think where they partner with the communities like around us, it would just be super helpful to have them there in hopes that we can work with them as well.
Sure. So do you want to get more involved yourself in this?
Yes.
Great.
For sure.
Okay. So Allison, do we want to set up another meeting in a couple of weeks? I don't want to wait too long. I think 2 weeks would be enough. I don't want to wait another month. I'd like to keep this going, keep the momentum going if we can, and work on the directives and then the 12 sectors and some of the ideas that Sue has given us, and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we might not be able to get everybody back at this table, with conflicts of scheduling or anything else. But I think, like you said, Alex, keeping that momentum going. So I'm open to having a meeting sooner than later. Hopefully next time in person. I think it'll be a lot more effective.
And Alex Haggerty here. You mentioned my name. You can put me down.
I knew I could. That's why I put it down. Well, you were involved with it before COVID too, so
yes,
yeah, absolutely. So
Same
what I will do
goes
is
for me, Alex. Sorry, same goes for me, Alex.
Oh, great, thank you.
It's Christy.
Yeah. So what I will do. Anyone else want to volunteer for the board? But I have Melissa, Jeff, Alex, Christy, Lisa, myself, and Allison will be involved also. So
Yeah, Alex, I'm checking with council.
Even if it was just.
Sorry, I was checking with council to find out if I'm even able to be on the board. I know that sometimes there's more of a conflict than a benefit if I am assigned to a board, but I do have an email out to council and hopefully hear back from him soon.
Okay.
Alex, I'd be willing to be as an advisory board member if you would like someone in an advisory position from one of the other communities.
Absolutely.
I know, sorry, I had a meeting, Rockland Cares had a meeting last night that I went to, and they said the same. They'd be happy to help in any way they can. So
okay.
I am in touch with Stacy Gardner, who's on the board.
Okay, great. So I think we should set up a meeting with us in about 2 weeks and kind of get a game plan together, and we could always add more directors later, but kind of give everyone an assignment in which direction we're going to go, and then we can work on the 12 sectors, and get the school involved and the police and the fire, and we have Christy for the clergy, and just kind of get our plan together. But I do appreciate Allison setting this up and reaching out to me a few weeks ago to do this, and all of you for showing up. There obviously is a need in Abington, and I think we just need the right people to move this forward, and I think we made a big step forward tonight. So, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Well, I think that might be the end of this meeting as it is. If anyone has anything else that they'd like to add before we do end it, Like Alex said, I thank all of you for being here. Once I see your hand up, so I will get to you. I do want to thank both police chief and fire chief for being here. I know you guys have been very short-staffed, overworked. Marty, another one who is very short-staffed, overworked through this whole entire pandemic. I got to see Adam face-to-face today. I think it's the first time in a couple of weeks. So it was great to see everyone's faces. Ryan, I do appreciate you being on this call as well, for the work that you do in the town. Jeff, I'm happy that you're willing to join this board and get it really going. So thank you all, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate being able to switch so quickly, especially under these stressful times that we are under. So Melissa?
Yes, sorry. So something super exciting for me is I'm running the Boston Marathon. It'll be the 1-year anniversary of my sister's passing, and I'm running with Team BMC. I heard Dr. Dern mention Team BMC. So I'm having a fundraiser, and I'm not like plugging myself, but I am having a fundraiser February 5th in Rockland at Players. And I just thought that is some good coalition work right there, getting some awareness going and everything. So I just wanted to share that because I'm very excited.
Thank you. And does anyone object to sharing this meeting, whether it be on the Abington cable or their YouTube? Kevin just reached out to ask. If not, that's okay. If okay, that's okay too. I don't know if Alex, if you would want to do that. If not,
I think it's a great idea because there may be some people that see it that have some knowledge and will want to get involved. Like I said, the first meeting we had, I think Peter Schaefer was there. This was back in June of 2015. And Susan was there, and Bill Carpenter, and Jeff Deal. And I think that's when I met Susan. And we had about 75 people in the room. And that was just advertised through Facebook. So I definitely, if no one has objections, I'd definitely like to see this ad on Abington cable. And hopefully we can get some more volunteers. And even if they don't want to be on the board of directors, there's that pool of volunteers that want to be involved. So
definitely.
And I think you lost me again.
No, it's there.
You're still there. You're just a little spotty. If we didn't know your internet connection wasn't working, I'd be asking Chief Nuttall to send some guys to check on you. But luckily, we know your internet connection's spotty.
Well, my laptop wouldn't load, and so I'm on my Chromebook, and that's not quite as good for a Zoom meeting. So.
Well, thank you everyone for coming tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you.